What is going on, you guys? I'm Mike.
And I'm Bree.
Welcome to Fractured Compass, and today we're going to be doing a Halloween Horror Nights prediction video.
That's right. You think it's too early for Halloween? It's not. We're probably going to start hearing announcements, especially from Universal Studios, Horror Nights, in about a week or so.
And, I mean, it's March 26th today while we're making this video, and just be prepared for Halloween content from this point on. This is, for me, is probably the most exciting part of, like, it's like the build-up towards like the announcements, construction updates, and then finally we get the event, and we're super excited to be like going along this journey with you guys.
Yeah. With
our nice friend here. I call him Jamie Lannister because it's probably what he's gonna look like at the end of this season. Poor guy. So let us jump in and let's get started. So we actually went to Universal Studios last week.
We did.
And we kind of scouted out all the areas where we think the mazes are gonna be, and we have a couple that are confirmed for sure. And there's no construction so far built up. No. And obviously there wouldn't be because, as you guys know, if you guys follow John Murdy on Twitter, he's the creative director of Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood. He's still writing the treatments for the mazes, and he's well on way. He's doing his pitching. He's getting all the rights ready to go, so that way they can just start breaking ground and building these things. However, we are still going to probably be going to Universal Studios a lot just to like start looking at those certain locations, like behind the Mummy Queue, the Waterworld area, so that way we can sort of see if the tents are starting to come up. But that's not really what this video is about. We just want to let you guys know what we think might happen, like what will be announced, what we hope might be announced, you know. And so this, just letting you guys know right now, this video is not like a for sure. This is just us trying to think.
Yeah, what's gonna happen, and some of the hints that have been dropped on some of the mazes, and we want to hear what you think is going to be coming out, because there at least one maze that I've read has some specific hints, but I'm like, I don't know. Yeah,
and I'm a movie buff, and I'm still kind of like, huh? Let's just tell them right now, actually, okay, since we're here.
Yeah.
All right. So, what did this tweet entail?
All right, so John Murdy tweeted that
Tweeted? He gave a little tweet.
I did. I was just tweet. That maze number 1, he had Googled and researched 1970s carpet and wallpaper designs, as well as Al Bowley music. Now, if you guys have never heard of Al Bowley, just go ahead and type in Al Bowley, and I do believe it's Bowlly.
You guys are going to really get a good vibe for that kind of music.
And if you guys have ever heard The Very Thought of You, it's one of his more famous songs from 1934. So we've got a 1970s carpet and
I will say this, when I listened to that music from him, I thought, ooh, The Shining.
Yes, and it does.
It's not going to be The Shining. John Murdy already confirmed that they're not going to do The Shining when they already did it this close. So it's not The Shining, so we have to think of something else, because that's what I thought of, you know.
Could it be Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Maybe. Well, I don't know, possibly. We know that, so what Jackie just asked in the background was, could it possibly be Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? It's kind of hard to tell at this point because we've only gotten a couple little teasers. Now, we know that John Murdy and Guillermo del Toro have worked together before on Crimson Peak Maze back in like 2015 or 16. So we know that they have that collaboration, and I know that Guillermo is a producer for this new movie, and it comes out in August. So that leads us into one of my hope that I would like to see is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's a very visual book. If you guys have ever actually read the children's book with the illustrations by, I think his name is Stephen Gamble or something like that. But these illustrations are very pencil drawn, watercolored, and just really detailed and just disturbing. And Guillermo is actually basing this movie off of those illustrations as well. He wants to recreate them, and if you guys have seen the
really good.
Yeah, and maybe we can put in a little picture of one of them right here. That way you guys can get a vibe. So that would be really awesome, because that would be a maze that would be so visually beautiful. But again, I believe the maze or that movie is not, I don't know if it's through Lionsgate or CBS Films or something, I don't know. So I don't know about the rights, but it would be really nice if that would be one of them. I would really like to see that. So another thing, maze number 2, that I think we're on the same page for sure about is Stranger Things 2.
Stranger Things 2 needs to happen because Stranger Things Season 3 looks amazing.
Yes!
And if you guys... I was not on board with the Stranger Things. If you guys watched our videos from last year, and I was all like, I don't know, and people were like, you guys need to watch it. I watch it. I love it. And now I'm like super in love with like Steve, and I want to cosplay him because I think my hair could do it. But
oh yeah, for sure. And you know, in season 2, have you gotten to that part yet where they like he explains how he gets his hair to look like that?
No, and you guys are gonna be mad because I haven't watched season 2.
What?
Oh my god. Well, no, I watched like 3 episodes. I know.
Wait, you watched the trailer for Stranger Things season 3, and then
I know, and I got super excited about it.
There's like semi spoilers in that. Okay, anyway,
no, I know.
That's not what this video is about. You know what? We'll have a whole video roasting Brie about Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, I'm starting to watch season 2 now because that's probably what I was watching.
Season 3 does look good. But anyway, so like just the hype around it, I feel like they should do a Stranger Things 2 maze, and it's based off of season 2 because season 2 had a lot of great visuals and
it had the giant spider thing, right?
The spider thing, yeah. The spider thing in the clouds, yes. But so I think that it was probably the most popular thing last year. I think that it should definitely be part of this year.
Yes, and I think it would only make sense to put it back in that soundstage. And I know we talked about where the whole queue thing would go, but I think they'll have it figured out by then.
And they confirmed it on Twitter. John Murdy even said, someone asked him like, hey, is that location where Stranger Things was behind the Transformer ride, is that going to be here this year? Because there's construction happening, and so they weren't sure. And he said, yes, we have that location. There's going to be a maze in a soundstage. He confirmed that. So we know that for sure. We are getting a maze inside of a soundstage. And
it might as well be
Stranger Things 2.
Season 2.
And I think
go to 3.
I think that's a really good, yeah.
You know what? We did it with The Purge. Why don't we just continue it? Okay?
And, by the way, Purge.
No.
Bye. Bye.
No Purge. No Purge. We're done purging.
Adios, because I was real sick of that.
I was.
And so you said something that's kind of interesting that's kind of leading me into the next maze, is you said, well, they should do season 3, right? You know what else he's been doing, other property that he's been going down the line with the movies, is Halloween. Right. He did Halloween 1, he did Halloween 2, he skipped 3 because Michael Myers isn't even in Halloween 3, it's weird. He did 4. I think that we're gonna see that continuation of Halloween 5. There's gonna be another Halloween maze, and it's gonna go down the line, and he's gonna finish it all.
Yeah. So this Halloween 5, because as our followers know, I'm terrified of horror movies, so I'm very, very selective on what I watch. But Halloween 5 would be the last.
No.
No.
There are 11. I think there's 11.
I'm the worst.
Halloween 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Return of Michael Myers.
Why don't we just
Halloween Resurrection, Halloween H2O. Halloween 20 years later, Rob Zombie's Halloween, Halloween 2, and the newest Halloween movie. There's 11 Michael Myers movies.
Why don't we just skip to the last one, you guys?
Okay.
Because it's got Laurie.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I agree, like, okay, but you know, last year... Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't we just get down to the badassery of Laurie?
I agree, and that one was a good one. I'm just saying that, like, the trend is that I think he's just going to go up the line. Here, love me.
No. Here we go. I feel like there's something between us.
So I think that Halloween... I think Halloween 5 is definitely going to be probably in the same area as it was around the Waterworld queue. No construction up there yet. And we probably won't be seeing... That'll probably be the last of the construction that they'll start doing because it's going to be taking place like in a queue in a very public area, and so they're not going to start construction on that one first because they want to keep that queue area open and they want the spoilers to be under wraps as much as possible. But
I think the first ones that would starting to go up is Stranger Things Season 2.
Because it's in a soundstage. That'll be the easiest one. Behind the mummy queue.
That's easy.
And then obviously the ones in the back lot because we know that there will be them. They will be in the back lot for sure. So, we noticed something when we went last time. We were on the studio tour, and we noticed that there was these beautiful, essential, like murals, I would call them, like paintings of the classic monsters.
So good.
And one of the portraits happened to be Creature from the Black Lagoon, and it got us thinking, Creature from the Black Lagoon wasn't showcased in the Classic Monsters maze last year.
It was not.
And so, they better do another Classic Universal Monsters maze, Volume 2 or Part 2, and add the monsters that weren't involved.
I think they could have done a lot better with the Dracula.
Yeah.
Dracula was in the maze last year, but if you don't know the lore of Dracula and all that, and him turning into wolf and things like that, it could have been a little bit confusing. I definitely, obviously, Creature, like you said.
Yeah, I love Creature. I want to see Creature.
Could be there. I know Hunchback. I thought Hunchback in Notre Dame was not in it, and then Jackie was like, "Hey, he was." It was this transition. Obviously, I missed that, and I don't think he's really a monster. But he is.
But I think he's part of the canon.
But he is part of the canon, and I just think he's actually a tragic monster, kind of like Frankenstein.
Yeah, but like
also a tragic...
Frankenstein's a total tragic monster.
Well,
you know?
I mean, okay, so obviously Dr. Frankenstein is the monster in the actual, the guy, the doctor, and then, Frankenstein's monster is the tragic victim of the play, but he's still there. He's still lore. And I actually, was like, oh, when he was carrying around a little girl saying friend and stuff, and that just shows the tragedy of man playing God.
Yeah.
That's a whole other vlog.
And that's a whole other vlog.
That's a whole other can of worms.
A whole other channel.
But, that's what makes those movies so great, is that there is tragedy behind it. You kind of understand where the monster's coming from. Like Creature from the Black Lagoon, he just wants to have love, and that's why he keeps stalking the woman, and he's not killing the woman, he just keeps bringing him back to her lair.
But everybody else be damned.
Oh yeah. But he just wants love, and so there's a lot of themes behind the monsters, and I think that's why it makes it so effective.
Who wouldn't kill for their woman?
And okay? I want to see another maze of it, especially with Creature in it.
I know. So I think
what if they put that maze under the mural?
I don't know. I think
would it not make a really cool backdrop?
It would make a cool backdrop, but it's so they've never pushed that area that far back. And so it would be nice if they did it. I'm just not sure if they would do it, but it would be nice. However, they did have the Alien vs. Predator maze was pushed far back into that back soundstage, past where Poltergeist was last year. And that was really cool. So I wouldn't put it against them putting a maze where the portraits are, but it's just maybe unlikely, especially with the budget. Not
that I'm those portraits are amazing, but I'm just wondering why they decided to do them.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love art, and I love all kinds of art, and I think that was done mostly by graffiti spray paint artists, and they're so amazing, but I'm just kind of
why?
Why? Why were they done? Why all of a sudden did we decide to do them out of nowhere?
Agreed.
If anybody knows, please leave us in the comments below, because if I were the art director, if I were a director or something like that, I would just be like, yeah, I want a mural right here. And there would be no reason for it, it's just because I wanted it. But sometimes there are reasons for things.
So let's talk about another big thing that's been happening is the Fox and Disney deal and how that is going to affect Halloween Horror Nights, also with Warner Brothers and other studios. So as you guys know, Universal Studios doesn't always take their properties and make it into mazes. They get the rights from other studios with other horror movies, and then they transfer it into a maze here. Now that's changing. Warner Brothers will not give out the rights to it or to any of their properties The Conjuring or anything like that, because they actually have their own haunt, which we are going to try to do this year. But so we can rule out a lot of anything that's Warner Brothers, anything that's New Line Cinema. They're not going to be giving their properties out to Halloween Horror Nights. Now that's not a for sure, but that's just my thinking. And when it comes to the Disney and Fox deal, one interesting thing that was on Twitter, someone asked John Murdy, hey, is there going to be another American Horror Story maze, which I would love to see because that's such a visually great show to do a maze about. And he said, there's complications with the Disney-Fox deal, and so no.
They're not giving it up.
That gives me the feeling, okay, well then there's nothing going to be from Fox at Universal this year, right? There's going to be no Alien properties, no Predator properties, nothing like that. Which is a real big bummer because Fox has a lot of great horror in there, and so does Warner Brothers. But so does Universal Studios. And as a matter of fact, Us just came out, and so did Get Out, and those are two really big, Us made, I think, $71 million on the box office this past weekend. So I wouldn't rule out Universal doing a maze about either Us or Get Out. Now, Get Out is going to be a little more tricky because visually, with that maze, it's all a bunch of build-up in that movie until the final 10 minutes, and even then, so I don't know if it would translate very well to a maze. However, Us, on the other hand, definitely could. there's a lot of sets, there's a lot of characters, a lot of different things that I feel us could transfer into a maze. I don't know if they'll do it, but it is a Universal property, and it's obviously very popular. It did well critically and commercially, so I have a prediction. It's not exactly a want, but I feel like they may do a Jordan Peele kind of maze where they might do a combo with Get Out and Us, or maybe just Us, or maybe just Get Out. But I have a feeling that might happen. I'm not sure, though. I don't know.
The Terror Tram.
Yeah, give us your thoughts on the Terror Tram last year.
You only want to know my thoughts because I'm all like,
it's true, but you know what? It's true. It's true.
Okay, so I always used to look forward to going on the Terror Tram, actually, when I first started going to Universal Horror Nights, because it was very long.
Yeah.
You had to walk up and down hills and stuff. Mike, you were talking about that earlier in the week, and it was basically that we don't walk up the hill anymore because the fire people came in and said you need to remove all this brush. And it was a fire hazard, and we have seen the horrific fires in California that have hit us the past couple years. So we totally understand, and I'm not mad about that. It's just that's why the Terror Tram seems a little short now, because we used to do this whole
And where we're talking
walk.
about is like right after Bates Motel, you would actually go up a hill. And that's where the scariest part happened, because it was so dark and there's no lights there, and so that's the scare actors were able to hide better. But now you just kind of walk up where the tram goes near the Bates Motel, and so it's not as long. And
so they haven't taken down Scarecrow's Revenge area. They haven't taken that down yet, which leads me to believe they're either going to put back Scarecrow's Revenge, which I just kind of walked through last year and was kind of like, oh, okay. And I dig Scarecrow costumes. I know that's not a favorite of Jax's, but I like them, but it wasn't that scary. You just kind of walked through, and I think we had our review on that. But
you know when the Terror Tram was the best, just real quick here, I think personally was when they had it with The Walking Dead, because it fits so well going through the plane crash, like the apocalypse and stuff like that. And so then they did, I remember when they did the Titans of Terror, and it was like Freddy Krueger and stuff like that. And they were all like, all the Freddys were at like the plane crash area, and I'm like, am I supposed to be in a dream? Did I, like, so a lot of it is hard, like, I'm having a hard time, like, getting sucked into the world of Terror Tram, and I would like them to just knock it out of the park, and I really did not like last year. The clown thing, I'm over it.
They did, Eli Roth did the clown thing, they did Hollywood Harry last year, and I remember somebody was like, was he even there? And you're like, yeah, he was with the black balloon at the very, very beginning. And I think you kind of missed it. But I would really like to I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the Terror Tram, because I feel like it's just a toss-up every year. I feel like the mazes are even more predictable than like this random just dice throw of the Terror Tram. But like we were talking about, we could go into the world of Chucky.
Yeah, that's Universal property.
This year, the old Chucky, not the new Chucky.
Yeah, because the new Chucky is not, the new Child's Play movie that's coming out this summer, I do not believe is by Universal Studios, so I don't think they're going to base it off of that. I could be wrong, but I think they'll stick to like the Chucky we know. I
think, and I'm going to put this out there, and obviously I think it's already been decided. John Murdy has been writing very, very much the mazes. We're going with 6 mazes this year, right?
I think so.
I think we're going to go with 6 mazes this year, and I'm pretty sure Terror Tram is already built, but I think the Terror Tram would be a perfect platform to do an original something.
Technically they did an original something with like the Hollywood Harry, but like something like,
yeah, but something not clowns,
like a good concept, you know, because when you go into the Terror Tram and you like before you get off, you know, you have a little video, and so that's the perfect setup for something. And they kind of wasted it last year. I didn't like it. I thought it was just kind of like they're trying too hard for it to be scary. So just get a good concept, make us scared.
Make an apocalyptic world. You have the plane crash. You have something. I don't know.
Reverse the order. God, drop us off at the plane crash and then make us go through Bates Motel at the end.
Yeah.
That would change it up a little bit, you know? It's becoming super predictable. I don't like it.
Or use your properties, make Devil Who's.
Hell, make the
Krampus ruins
like Krampus,
make the Terror Tram the monsters, you know, and then you can have that would even be something, you know? Like, make it the classic Universal Monsters. I don't know.
You could. Like...
Have it hosted by Norman Bates. I don't know.
Looking at you, Universal.
Honestly, I'm not really looking forward to Terror Tram this year, but
and
hopefully...
I look forward to Terror Tram every year because I like going onto the sets. That's the biggest draw for me. And even going down, you know, Toxic Tunnel to get to that back lot.
Yeah.
It's just walking on that back lot. Whatever's there. I mean, I just like being in that back area because I love creating, and that is just an area that has a lot of creative energy. But
so let's talk about a couple of little predictions that we might have, or maybe hopes. I think this is more of like a I want to see, we want to see.
Yeah.
And so what's the first one that you would like to see?
I would like to see a maze on the Quiet Place.
Oh yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
I would. I think because, you know what, I actually really like alien movies, and I obviously Alien and Predator and all those things are out now.
Yeah, and Quiet Place is a Paramount property, and I don't know if like that's like they're doing their own thing. I don't think Paramount does their own haunt. We know Warner Brothers does, and we know the Fox Disney deals. So Paramount, come in for the win and give us a Quiet Place maze, because that's a really good movie in general, and they're making a second one, so it would add to the hype.
Imagine walking through a maze with no sound.
Oh, that would be creepy.
Well, they did. What did you go to last year? Dead Exposure, where they played with the no sight thing.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they play with the no?
Hearing thing?
Oh,
you would just be hearing people, and then people would be turning on people, going.
That would be good.
Right.
And speaking of that, I do believe that Pet Sematary is another Paramount property, and that's a Stephen King thing. And so, I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet. Apparently, it's good. I don't know if it would...
Did you see the old movie?
I saw the old Pet Sematary a long time ago. I mean, I know what happens, but...
I saw that one. I actually really like the premises of the Pet Sematary. I like the storyline of Pet Sematary. And I saw the old one. I was like, freaked me out.
Yeah.
A little bit. There are some scenes in there that are pretty gnarly back from in the days when I was a kid.
Yeah, I can't imagine this one's gonna be like... This one's gonna be scary.
Yeah, but I think it would make a great maze.
Yeah.
To walk through.
And you know what else would make a great maze? And we kind of already tapped into Stranger Things, but we know that Universal can do Netflix properties. At least they can do Stranger Things, and I know it would be very, very exciting for me to at least see the Haunting on Hill House maze. And that is a show, well, that is a show on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but that was probably one of my like top shows of 2018. Yeah, it was amazing.
You and Jax really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of visual... a lot of like deep emotional storytelling that can be done through that maze, and I would love to see it. I don't know if they're going to.
I don't know. I think it could be a great replacement since American Horror Story is out now.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that whole going through a house
that would be,
and interacting with those ghosts and with, you know, the people and stuff, like would be a really good substitute.
And I think our final thing that we want to do is original mazes, because we know that Universal has done original mazes in the past, and they've been great. I always butcher the name. I'm going to try to say it.
La Llorona?
Yeah, there we go.
Hey.
I always say like La Llorona. Long neck dinos. Anyway, that was like one of like, when those mazes were out, they were fantastic. It was one of my favorites of those seasons, and so I would really love to see, maybe not that property, but just another original maze. Maybe add some Rob Zombie in there. Maybe they can have a collaboration, because they did A House of a Thousand Corpses. That was great. They did Alice Cooper Goes to Hell, and I seem to really like the mazes where they like it's featured with an artist, you know, like featured music by this person or this person, and so those are cool.
If they do Monsters Chapter 2 or Volume 2, whatever it is, they'll probably bring back Slash.
Yeah.
To do the score, and I actually really enjoyed everything about that.
It wasn't like in your face, which I liked.
No. Yeah, it was very subtle.
Yeah.
And
but still has its own like
that's the thing. It's like you're used to sound effects and you're used to music and everything, which is why I think if they did nothing with Quiet Place, it would just throw people off.
I feel like it's a stretch, but it would just be so unexpected. Like,
so what if like no like alien thing popped out unless you made noise? Like, if you were able to creep through the room and you didn't make a single noise, like,
that would be
and
cool.
then you made it and just boom, like.
I'd be like, I want to see the alien.
I know.
Give it to me. You know? But yeah, so Bree, you need to send a text message over to John Murdy and be like, hey, got an idea. You don't want to be part of it? Well, look out.
You, Murdy.
Welcome aboard the Bree Express, destination horror.
I'd be like, hold on.
I stole that from a show.
Fifth year.
Comment down below if you know what show I just stole that from. Anyway,
I think we had talked about one more. I'm not really looking forward to it if it comes up, but
what?
We talked about possibly Happy Death Day.
Okay, I would hate it. I'm getting charged up and angry because that movie does not translate into a maze. It doesn't. And I think they realized that because last year they made The Purge into a maze instead of just a scare zone, and it did not translate into a maze.
Well, The Purge is over. And
right,
it's done.
The Purge is for sure over, but like...
I would rather see Us or Get Out. I think it would be more intelligent property. Oh no! I think, like I was saying, I think it'd be a more intelligent property than throwing back up
the Blumhouse?
The Blumhouse and Happy Death Day. I walked through it, and yeah, it was a little uncomfortable, and there were scenes that were just kind of weird. But it's not intelligent.
Yeah, I walked through, I remember walking through the Blumhouse maze last year, and I remember I was actually like, oh, that was better than I thought it was going to be, but then like in the scheme of like after finishing the whole event and going back and saying, what maze did I really not like? And it ended up being Blumhouse. I was like, there was just, there's so many, there are good Blumhouse movies. You got like Sinister, Insidious, the Halloween movie that came out. Why The Purge? Why Happy Death Day? Bye. Toodaloo. Don't need it. We have Us. We have movies from Universal that are doing well. Use them. You know, take advantage of it.
Do you think The Thing could come?
Oh, The Thing.
Oh, that was another prediction. Thank you, Jackie Poo. Jackie Poo just reminded me, The Thing. The Thing would be a really good maze, and they did it before. It was called The Thing Assimilation back in like 2011, I believe. And that was a really fun maze to go through.
Was it the old one or the new one?
It was the new one.
The new one?
New one. So I would love to see a classic, like, 1982 Kurt Russell The Thing.
Ooh, like when the stomach splits open.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why I think that could be a contender was because Dark Entities this year had something that kind of looked like The Thing when you were walking through. So we know the technology for that type of animatronic exists.
Well, and let me tell you, that if they do a Thing maze, that is going to be an expensive maze to do because the animatronics alone, the makeup for the Thing to make it look like the dog thing, that'd be a great scene. Yeah. That's going to be expensive. So I don't know if they're going to necessarily do the Thing because yes, it would translate great to a maze. Yes, it would be awesome, but also like, well, how much dough are we going to be forking out recreating all these scenes and making it super cold in there because it takes place in Antarctica.
Oh, you
so
can do it. You can do it.
They could do it, and they did it before.
You'd have to use a soundstage.
Yeah, I would really like that.
It would be better. I don't know what I was doing.
I would like to use the soundstage. That'd be great.
You could use a soundstage. They've built new sound stages.
Yeah, well, you know, you guys remember when we went on the studio tour, you guys know where, like, they parted the waters, and if you guys don't know where that was from, where they, like, the little lagoon where they film a lot of, like, scenes, there's 2 brand new sound stages there. And I actually filmed Us and soundstage, I think, 27 or whatever it was, like, right at the corner, and so there's more sound stages. I don't necessarily know if that's, you know, they were just running out of spots because they do contracts with like other studios saying like, here, use our soundstage for this time being. However, it would be nice if they they built those new sound stages so that way they can put a maze in one of them, but I don't think that's the case. Yeah. However, wishful thinking because we got a maze inside of that soundstage in the lower law where Alien vs. Predator was. That would be amazing if we can do another maze in there because when you put a maze in a soundstage instead of a tent, the lighting special effects, the environment. It's so much more
Everything,
controlled
yeah.
and more detailed and more better, and it's just,
And that's the whole purpose of a soundstage.
you know, and I get it, like, you know, putting them in the tents. I'm not saying that those ones are bad. I'm just saying that, like, Alien vs. Predator, Stranger Things, they were just a little more attention to detail with the lighting because they had that opportunity to be able to do it.
You could be more well immersed in the world than being in that tent. And I think the only, and again, not that the tents are bad, they're absolutely fine, and those mazes were good. Trick or Treat was in a maze, or was behind Mummy.
Which is your least favorite location?
I don't really have a favorite location for mazes per se. I think you don't like it.
I don't
Being
like
behind the Mummy.
No.
The only thing that took me out of Trick or Treat was we were there early, and there was, I think, where the werewolves were, where the girl werewolves were in that section of the maze, sunlight was coming through. And so that kind of took me out of it because I know that the outside world is there. And that's not their fault. Like, obviously...
That doesn't pertain to, like, the maze location.
No. But I'm just saying, we're talking about sound stages. It's like being in a more immersed in that environment than having to work with a tent and doing the best you can. I get it. You can't put everything in a soundstage. It is a working movie location, and there are actual shows inside a lot of those sound stages. But if we could just get like one.
And I don't understand, like, behind the Mummy queue is not a whole lot of space to do a maze.
No,
it really
like,
isn't.
Trick or Treat is very skinny.
I'm like, why did you put The
psyching
Exorcist in that location? Why couldn't it have been in a bigger tent? Why was The Shining in that location? Why was Trick or Treat? Like, let's put those really big IP, like, just properties and put them in a soundstage. Put them even in the back lot. Why do they have to go there? You went through...
I don't know if I don't think I went through The Shining, but the one thing, I did look at somebody's video of The Shining, and the one thing that I agree with having more space is that at the end of The Shining, walking and running through that maze, the hedge maze, is like a huge scene. It's you know, because he's looking for Danny, he's running through it.
And it was like 30 seconds.
In Orlando, they did it. You went through the hedge maze. In Hollywood, you walked out and you walked by, and he was just frozen there in the snow, and then it ended. And I feel like that was a missed opportunity that they could have done.
And Orlando, Stranger Things was in a soundstage, and it was snowing in there. They had, like, obviously it was just a little bit of soap. It was snowing. It was freezing. It, like, put me so much more into it because I was like, oh my gosh, like, I actually feel like I'm outside right now, you know? But that's, again, Hollywood and Orlando are two separate entities. We're judging Hollywood by how, you know, on its own merits.
We're not saying that Orlando is any better than Hollywood. We're not.
By far. Stop it. So, I think I'm excited for Halloween Horror Nights. Now, we didn't do a like a scare zone area predictions yet.
No idea.
Because I want us to kind of do that later on in the season.
The scare zones, I feel, at Hollywood are just super random.
That's a crapshoot.
Like, it's a crapshoot of what they could decide to put out. Last year they put out Trick or Treat, and then this entire, Holidays in Hell, through it. So that was random. But it was good, but it was random. But I mean, just kind of, I wasn't scared of it. I was more like...
It was just cool to look at. It was inventive. I'm like, okay, well, how are they going to make St. Patty's Day scary?
Just little vignettes.
Yeah.
Little vignettes throughout it. That was cool.
So, with that being said, you know, Halloween season's right around us. Get ready for a lot of Halloween content from this point on. We're going to be giving you construction updates. We are going to be doing a Not Scary Farm predictions, hopes and wants.
Yes.
And a Queen Mary. I don't think we're going to be going to Queen Mary this year. But
I think
maybe
we will.
You think so?
I'm thinking like probably the first day that me and you will be hitting up Queen Mary.
So maybe Queen Mary. I want to try to do Haunted Hayride as well.
Yes.
And that way we can get all that footage out for you guys. But get ready because announcements are coming out soon, construction updates, the hype, and this is the best part, you know? It's like the lead up to it, and then finally you have the event.
Okay, so remember guys, we're a couple events that are coming up that we're going to be at. We're going to be at Spook Show, April 6th. I will be hitting that up a little later in the day, but I will be there, so if you see us, you know, give us a shout out or whatever. We will also be at Monsterpalooza Jackson and I will be there Friday. It starts at 6 p.m. on April 12th. All right. And then on April 14th is the big day that
That's
all
on Sunday,
three
right?
of us on Sunday at 2 p.m. Horror Nights, John Murdy and
We will be there.
Chris is his name?
I don't know if he's going to be there.
You don't know if Chris is going to be. I know it's definitely John Murdy is going to be there, and they will be there at 2 p.m. giving the first kind of announcement that's going to be going on at HHN. We will definitely be there. So if you guys see us there, give us a shout out. We will be there Sunday.
Say hi, we don't bite.
All day. And we will be there Friday on the 12th at 6 p.m. to just kind of hit the show floor and look at that. And I'll be over at Spook Show on April 6th.
So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and like this video. Comment down below your predictions or what you guys want to see at Halloween Horror Nights.
These are just our opinions, and we could be way off.
We could be wrong. We could be wrong.
Just saying.
Go ahead and subscribe. And with that being said,
always be ready.
because you never know where your compass is going to take you. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh, subscribe, like this video, and look at other videos. Ooh.